lovelies, Larissa J here, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to get updates on all of my forthcoming videos because you don't want to miss them. Also, if you're interested in merchandise, be sure to check out the links below for JohnsonTeam Apparel. And we're going to get right into the video. I have a good one for you. Today, we're talking about he just stopped calling and texting. Have you ever been getting to know someone, y'all texting back and forth, or you talking on the phone at night, and you're just really feeling like you guys are vibing and it's going somewhere and you're getting excited. And then all of a sudden, he just stops. He just stops texting you, or he just stops calling you, or he stops contacting you altogether and you don't hear anything from him. That happens a lot. And it's happened a lot to me in the past when I was single as well. And so I wanted to share with you today some of the things that I've learned to help me get through those experiences. And of course, leading me up to meeting my husband. So one thing that I had to establish was if you're getting to know a guy and he seems interested, and then all of a sudden he just stops texting you or he just stops calling you, honestly, he's just not all in. That's really all it is. He's not 100% all in. Because, and I've said this before, a man who really wants you, a man who's really feeling you, a man who's serious about you is going to do whatever it takes to make you his. Okay, like, period. If he really, really wants you, he's gonna do what it takes. Guys who really are interested in a woman do what they need to do to make her his. So if you're dealing with a guy who just disappears and just doesn't say anything, or he just stopped texting or just stopped calling, that just lets you know that he's not all in. So for me, I had a lot of experiences with people that I would meet that would just text only. I didn't even get a phone call, okay? Like, it was just a text.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, what you up to? Hey, what's up?
And then sometimes there were some where there would be like full-on conversations in a text message. Over the years, I had to learn, like, that's a red flag. At some point, there should be progression. You should not be solely limited to texting only as your form of communication in a relationship. So as fun and exciting as it can be, I had to come to terms with the fact that it wasn't substantial and it just was a red flag in all of the situationships that I ended up in afterwards. I started to pick up like, oh, we're only texting. This is not good. So then if all he's doing is texting and then he just stops texting, or he gets to that little one word thing that they do, which I used to hate that, but the little one word thing that they do.
Hey, yeah, cool, alright.
Stuff like that. No, ladies, absolutely not. That is unacceptable. Like, there is like no effort there at all. Anyone could text a 3-letter word. Hey, and I don't know what they do nowadays because this was a few years ago for me, but hey, to just start a conversation, no, it's not acceptable. Like, you have more words in your vocabulary than just hey, but that would always be the thing. It's just hey. No good morning, how you doing, how you feeling, how's your day been? None of that. Just hey. Unacceptable. That's a red flag. So even if y'all were texting a lot, and then there's that hey. In fact, I've learned that this is called breadcrumbing. It didn't have this terminology back when I was single, but now apparently it's called breadcrumbing. And so if you were getting to know someone, you guys are getting to know each other, you're talking and doing all this stuff, and then he just falls off the map. And then after some time, you start to get to the point where it's like, maybe he's not interested in me. You don't text as much. Then he'll just pop up and be like, hey. And I remember I would do that. Sometimes I'm like, well, he ain't gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna say nothing either. And so I would just go a length of time without saying anything, and then just out of the blue would just be hey. Like, that's breadcrumbing just to kind of get you like, oh my gosh, maybe he is interested. Let me see what he wants, you know? Yeah, don't fall for that. That's unacceptable. You don't want someone, and this, I'm talking to those of you who like, you're looking for a serious relationship, you're looking to be married at some point soon. You don't want that. That's not, no, that's unacceptable. So breadcrumbing is a no. If y'all were getting to know each other and then he fell off the face of the earth and then he just pops up with random short little messages, hey, how's it going, how you been, and it just doesn't go anywhere after that, absolutely not. Just let it go. Same thing if they were calling. It's the same. If they were calling and then they stopped calling, or if they were calling and now they're just sending the little short one-word text messages, that should be an indication to you that he's not in. Even if he starts out all in at first, things they change. And I've experienced that a lot as well, where it's like going hard in the beginning, like, yes, you might be my wife, like, you know, like, oh, we have all this stuff in common, blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden they just fall off, just disappear, which is called ghosting nowadays. They just fall off and disappear and don't say anything. And then you just decide you're going to let it go. And then they start breadcrumbing. Hey, what's up? Like, no, none of that. You don't want any of that. You are worth way more than that. You are more valuable than that. And not only that, there is going to be someone, the right one, that will come and actually take the time out to pursue you, take the time out to want to get to know you, and to be consistent in their communication with you. That is what you're looking for. So don't settle for hey, or ghosting, or breadcrumbing. He's here today, he's gone tomorrow. Is he going to contact me today? I have no idea. You have all these questions and confusion. That's not what you want. That's not what you're looking for. Like I said, especially if your goal is a serious relationship that will lead to marriage. One thing that I want to make sure that I note is that as a woman, you want to make sure that you don't hold out hope in your heart, you know, the whole little emotional thing. And sometimes it can be like, oh man, I haven't heard from him anymore. Maybe I should just, you know, maybe he'll come back around. Maybe something happened. Maybe he had a bad week. Maybe, and you start thinking of all these reasons for why maybe he's not contacting you. And so you've got this little hope in your heart. So that way, when he does send a breadcrumb message and just says, hey, or hey, how you been? Or hey, long time. Now you're getting all excited, like, oh, maybe he really is interested. Maybe he was just going through something. Don't hold hope in your heart for someone who is not giving you their best. They don't deserve that. So when you find that he is breadcrumbing or ghosting, or he just stopped calling and he stopped texting, be okay with moving on. Be okay with letting go, because the man for you is not going to do that. Like, even in circumstances like, sometimes you think like, oh, well, maybe there was like a loss in his family or whatever the case is. There are some guys where that doesn't move them. You know what I mean? Like, even though they're dealing with things, a man is not going to allow that. If he's really interested in you, he's not going to allow that to interfere with what he's trying to build with you. If anything, he may gravitate towards you. Now, this is me speaking from experience. For me, it was day and night when it came to thinking about what I'd experienced during my single season, all of the ghosting, all of the breadcrumbing, all of the, hey, I think you might be the one, and then just disappearing, or they're texting and calling and we're talking on a regular basis. I'm thinking it's going somewhere, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and then they pop up a year later and say, hey, how you been? Absolutely not. So I remember all of those experiences, and then I think about my experiences with my husband, and it's like day and night. My husband did not do that, not once. When we met, our communication, he was consistent. He didn't do any breadcrumbing or ghosting because we were long distance. We started out texting, and then we graduated to video messaging, and we graduated to phone calls, and there was a constant progression. There was a constant consistency. I didn't have to wonder, is he interested in me? Does he not like me anymore because he disappeared or he stopped texting me? I didn't have all of those questions and confusion that I experienced in previous situationships. With my relationship with my husband, it was very clear and concise, and he didn't stop. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a consistent, he was calling on a regular basis. We talked every single day. I knew what his feelings were for me. He communicated those things. Even if he did have a rough day or experience a tough time, he didn't disappear and just go ghost without an explanation. So I've been on both sides of that, and that's why I'm saying the guy who ghosts you or breadcrumbs you or stops calling, stops texting, or tries to pop back up and convince you that he needs another chance or whatever, like, none of that is what you want. All of that should be a red flag, just waving, okay? But the right guy for you is actually going to take the time out to put in the effort to make sure that it's very clear that he wants you. So if you happen to be in a situationship right now where there is a little bit of ghosting or a little bit of breadcrumbing, or he stopped calling, he stopped texting, my encouragement for you would be to remember that there is someone better out there, someone who's going to be consistent, someone who's going to be communicative, someone who's not going to leave you with all of these questions. The right guy for you will do the right things and make sure that he does what it takes to make it very clear. He's going to make his intentions very clear to you. And that is what you're looking for. Do not fall for the red flags. Do not fall for the tricks and the games, because there's a lot of that out there. And this is me thinking about what it was like years ago. I'm sure that it's not gotten any better, might have gotten worse. So with that, I would say, like, keep your eyes open. And if that's what you're observing about a person, be okay with moving on and knowing in your heart and in your mind that there is better out there for you. You have to be okay with letting go of the foolery to move on to bigger and better things. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If so, let me know in the comments. Have you experienced the ghosting? Have you experienced the breadcrumbing? It's probably running rampant even now, just like it was years ago. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.